Bill Sammons here with the Active Retirement Network. Nick Craven was on a previous episode with
Yeah.
Jim, and I really appreciate the information that you had. As somebody who didn't spend my career in finance and stock market, that was so overwhelming to me.
Mhm.
Of really the part of figuring out when could I retire, how much money did I need to
Mhm.
retire. So I appreciate what you told him about planning and how important that is. If I could, I want to get into a couple of things. I've been retired just over a year and a half now.
Excellent.
And one of the hardest things for me has been adjusting at my budget or getting into a budget that meets my
Mhm.
Social Security and my investment income and so on.
Mhm.
Any advice for that? Because you talked about lifestyle, not changing your lifestyle, but any
Yeah.
advice for me?
Absolutely. Well, like I said in the previous episode, they don't teach you this. This isn't really something
Right.
that is taught in school. You could, of course, do the Google or the YouTube and kind of be self-taught if you want, or you can work with an advisor who will
Mhm.
do most of that heavy lifting for you. Again, every financial advisor is different. Some specialize in just the investment planning, some specialize in retirement income planning. But generally speaking, the day of simple spreadsheets, a lot of people will do spreadsheets for budgeting or they'll use calculators. Those days have been surpassed by technology and software, AI. So, what I would recommend, right, for someone in your position would be to sit down with their financial advisor, number
Okay.
one, see if they have the capabilities to run various projections for you. They should have
Mhm.
software if they specialize in retirement income planning to show you and project out what everything will look like.
Yeah.
So, we use a few different pieces of software for our clients in our firm. We use the Monte Carlo, which is a financial projection or simulation of someone's financial plan. We also use software, it's called Income Lab, which will show you based on your various sources of income, like Social Security or a pension, and then your savings, what your budget should look like.
Right.
So yeah, I would recommend meeting with a financial advisor, either your current financial advisor or going and finding someone who
Okay.
specializes in retirement income planning, because it can be pretty
Can
complex. There
be
are a
very
lot of moving
overwhelming.
parts.
Yeah.
A lot of moving parts, and everyone's situation is different.
Right.
Okay.
So one thing that I struggle with, and I think you told Jim 73 when you have to start
Mhm.
taking
The required
the required
distribution.
distribution
Mhm.
for your IRAs and 401ks and so on. How do I know how much and when for
Yeah.
that?
Great question. Great question. Again, a lot of calculators out there that you could find online, but how it actually works is on December 31st, the year before your required distribution age, which again is 73 for folks born before 1960, 75 for anyone after 1960. But December 31st, the year before you turn that RMD age, you have to add up everything that is in all of those IRAs. So what we recommend
Okay.
is, consolidate those accounts if you can. It makes it a little bit easier. Don't have, I've sat down with folks who have 4 or 5 IRAs,
Yeah.
maybe, an old 401k here, an old 401k there, an IRA, or any of those pre-tax buckets. But you add everything up, okay, you total it up, and then you divide it based on what's called the Uniform Life Table. I have a copy of one right here if you want me to grab it, but you can look it up online. The government has been so kind to calculate how long they think you're going to live, actually,
Okay.
believe it or not. And
Yeah.
they estimate it's, again, a Uniform Life Table, 26.5 years is what they figure most folks are going to live, or at least what they use for their calculations. That equals out to about 3.77%. So 3.77% of that IRA bucket, or just divide the amount by 26.5, and that's what you have to take that year.
Okay.
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 Again, that was kind of a long way of explaining it. There's
Yeah.
a calculator that you can just
Well, that's good
find.
to know.
Yeah, that's
That's
the back.
available. Yeah.
And then the next
Otherwise, you're
year,
just throwing darts. You really.
yeah, yeah. And then the next year, the number changes. So now it's
Yeah.
25.5. You divide the balance by 25.5, and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
really what ends up happening with that required distribution is the percentage that you have to take out gets larger and larger each year, right? So those RMDs can be pretty staggering. So if you've never sat down, and again, that's something a financial advisor should calculate. Your financial advisor should calculate your RMD for you
Yeah.
and ensure that they send it to you so you take out the full
It
amount.
would be so much easier if I knew when I was going to die and if I
Yeah,
was going to be
yeah,
healthy the whole
yeah,
time,
yeah.
right? Because I don't want to overspend now and run out of money later. I
Mhm,
don't want to eat rice and beans and not travel now and end up with a lot of money. I mean, I want to
mhm.
leave my kids money, obviously,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? It's this fine line, really. And I'm 68, just fairly recently retired,
Mhm.
and that's in my mind every day.
Again, the financial planning software takes a lot of the load off of that. The guesswork, it takes the guesswork out, so we can project
the odds.
many different. Exactly, and I agree. It's you want to balance the best of both worlds. I always tell my clients that I plan for what I call I plan conservatively, but I plan for the worst case scenario. Which what I mean by that is it's kind of a joke. It's that you live a long, happy, and healthy life, and I need to make sure that you have enough money at the end of the day. And yes, everyone has different goals. If legacy planning is more important than your lifestyle, you have to balance that out and leave a legacy. And yeah, so everyone's goals
Very
are
good.
different.
Very good.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I do. I don't know a lot about what you do. Here's one thing I do know. It gets here a lot faster than you expect it to.
I hear that a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah. Nick, if one of our viewers wants to get hold of you, how do we do that?
Yeah, you can visit us online to book an appointment, either a 15-minute intro call or a full-blown first meeting with us. Our website is montgomeryfinancialservices.com or mfswealth.com. Either one will work. Or you can give us a call directly at 410-208-1004.
Do I have to live in this area? If you can work with me
No, we have
anywhere?
clients nationwide. We have clients nationwide. We primarily work with retirees in the Maryland and Delaware areas. That's where we built our business. We've been here locally for 15 years now, but
Can be
yeah,
anywhere.
you can be anywhere. Absolutely.
Nick, thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of course. Anytime.